So you're asking me about the economic impact to companies with revenues and advertising expenditures, as I understand it. And certainly, obviously, the expenditures are going to be costs to the companies. Depending on the effectiveness of advertising dollars, the more competition. So the other way, if you've got greater demand and less choices, price can go up. If you've got greater demand but just as many choices, it may not go up. So I imagine that these executives in the companies that are at that dramatically increased price figure out that the number of eyes on each ad warrants that. So I would imagine it is worth it to those companies or they wouldn't do it. Again, I really don't know if productivity losses overall during the Super Bowl timeframe does decrease. Leading up to the Super Bowl, people are filling out their brackets or pools or whatever, so there's a distraction level. Probably some productivity is lost. But overall, if there's a more content, more satisfied workforce during or after the Super Bowl because of those activities, maybe overall flattens out. So you may have some peaks and valleys. Looking at the economic impact on a host city with the costs of getting ready for and putting on the Super Bowl, I think you have to look at probably a pretty long time frame to measure the true economic impact. It's without question you're going to have increased security, you're going to have to change certain expenditures in order to make the city ready for the Super Bowl and all the influx. So there's cost there. There's also economic benefits, right? People are coming in, they're flying in, you're having the tax revenues of all the consumerism that's going on during the Super Bowl and during that, hopefully it's a week period because everybody comes in a week earlier. And Philadelphia, for instance, has a wage tax. So for all those folks that are earning their wage in Philadelphia for that time frame, there's a potential for increased tax revenue. The hotels are going to be able to fill their rooms for a week, but then there's going to be an increase in need for their kitchen staff, their hospitality staff, their management staff, and all those folks will have more income. And maybe they spend that over a period of time. I don't know the curve on that, but certainly, there's an increased cost. I don't know what people's marginal propensity to save or consume would be as it relates to the Super Bowl, but you can see, going back to the hotel example or the restaurant example, where people have an influx of cash, some good tips and more hours, so they have a little bit of a boost in their own pocket. They might be more inclined to go out and spend and maybe go out to another dinner or buy that new pair of pants they were looking for, or something that they wouldn't otherwise because there's been a short-term increase. So I could see that a marginal propensity to spend may increase on a short-term basis. About whether there is some sort of a multiplier effect from the revenues that businesses and/or the city might get as a result of the Super Bowl being hosted and the impact on those businesses. I think you got to look at it. There's, it's not a multiplier effect in the traditional monetary sense, in that the government's not making a greater money supply. But like I was saying, if someone goes out and buys an extra dinner, it ripples down. So the people that are selling the jeans, or the folks that are getting that extra tip at the restaurant, or they're getting the extra hours, are they themselves going to have more money? And they'll go out and spend more money. So they'll go out to a restaurant, or they'll put it in the bank and save it. So whatever their propensities would be. But you can see how the money might not just be spent once. And the same would be true of perhaps the tax revenues. It would give the city hosting another opportunity if they've gained some increases the money supply like a monetary policy would. But there is some perhaps multiplicative effect of the economic impact. Again, you have to pick your time period that you're going to try to measure it, and you're going to try to look at whether it's a one-time thing or you get some multiplicative effect over a period of months. Like, I want to go to Phoenix because the Super Bowl was held there in 2015, or I want to go to New Orleans because it was held there and it's maybe interested in the city. So that type of